works, the motor turns because there's a vacuum switch here that sends power to the motor. So as the motor turns, this diaphragm goes up and down, and there's two sets of duckbill valves. They sort of act like check valves.
Okay.
They're both, one set is here, pointing that direction, and another set is here, pointing that direction. So as the diaphragm goes up and down, it comes up and it sucks this direction, and when it goes down, it can't go against those duckbill valves, so it pushes it that direction. So it's just a constant pushing and pulling.
Okay,
and
cool.
It push. So this is the discharge of the pump that goes down into your holding tank, and this is the intake of the pump, and this is the vacuum tank. So everything from this end of the pump that direction, and all of the tank and everything towards your toilet, all that's under a vacuum, right? So whenever the pump is on and everything is running, that's all under a vacuum. So when you push the lever on the toilet, that vacuum is released, and all the waste and everything just continues to move down current. So
interesting system.
And then when the vacuum, you'll hear the pump run, and then the vacuum gets to a certain point and overcomes the spring pressure on this vacuum switch, and then it shuts the pump off.
Seeing the fail?
No, I'm not seeing the fail. Not too many places for it to fail. So. But as the diaphragm's going up and down, the waste moves through the duckbill valve, and it can't go back. So the pressure just kind of locks it down. Just like that. Terminal for the vacuum switch.
Is it corroded?
Oh, it's off. Turn the pump on. Can you try flushing the head?
Here we go.
All right, flush it again.
Okay.
There we go. This when the vacuum builds up, it pulls on this metal diaphragm, and it opens up the contacts to the switch. The switch looks like it's from 03. You definitely got your money's worth out of the switch. When I first got it back going again, the plunger portion of it was basically stuck. It was just kind of stuck in the frozen position, and then
it's always taken longer to get up to the vacuum point where it shuts off than the other one, and then when reoccur, every couple hours it would have to pump another 10 times. So it's it's cycled a lot more than the other one because of the not being able to.
Yeah. So
vacuum.
what may have happened if this doesn't turn off? The vacuum pump is obviously working under a much heavier load than what it should be, and eventually, I imagine it would you know, it eventually just would pull in, but it's got quite a bit more pressure than it's supposed to. So what it could have been doing is, instead of blowing out the seal, it could have been trying to suck in the seal, and that may have, you know, it may have sucked in that.
Designed for that much pressure in the reverse direction. Correct,
and then so that might have pulled that O-ring in and kind of deformed it a little bit, and then when we had some head pressure behind the holding tank, because the holding tank is above the pump, it may have just been gravity feeding back out of there. And then when you turn it on, it may not have been squirting out of the pump as the pump was running. It may have just been what was like just in the, you know, because that diaphragm, of course, is pretty deep, and it's
well, you know, I watched it at the end when we were just flushing fresh water through,
and it was shooting straight out.
Well, it wasn't shooting out, but it was
oozing out,
oozing and overflowing of the pump readily.
Okay. So, and then, you know, the terminal for it literally just fell out of the switch. So
we need a new switch.
We need a new switch. It's not leaking. I'm going to put this back in so where there's no smell or anything coming out of there, but we'll put this back in, and then we'll just get the switch coming, and then, you know, but in that little bit that we were flushing it there wasn't anything coming out of the pump. So, I mean, it was moving everything down current. Nothing was coming out of the hoses. Obviously, we'll be able to check it better when we could put it under proper amount of vacuum and let it sit under that vacuum and see if it's cycling or not. But so I think the switch stuck on allowed the pump to just generate too much vacuum, or it was never switching off when it was supposed to, and it probably just caused that seal to fail that way. So